yeah, Smixy said it best. Do or die.
It really is.
It is do or die between both of these teams, NRG and Ghost, for their shot at the playoffs.
And for NRG, it's even more big picture do or die, because they need to be able to make it to the playoffs in order to get points, in order to be able to play in LCQ. Finishing here would give them nothing, really.
Yeah.
They'd be in a very rough situation. So this is your year on the line as well, not just your playoffs opportunity.
They've been playing like it. Step up, I think.
KO flash there, comboed with the Haunt to see if they can get any information. Gives Ethan a free orb, but he didn't spot either of these players, Net, Trent, that are going to be playing over towards the A side of the map.
Yeah.
I mean, the Guard have been playing this composition this time and against Exet, but it's also just their bind comp,
yeah,
essentially.
They just ported it over.
Yeah.
Similar in the rolls, comfortable on the rolls. And contact from the Guard, no noise being made. Working their way through mid. I don't know what the read is there. I mean, they're just so confident that nobody will be playing towards that area. They're going to hear this trademark, though. The U. Got that C's primed. Ready and waiting. Just going to let it rip. There you go. It's going to be catching on to all the players. In fact, it does tremendous amounts of work, a bit of damage. Softens up Valen for the easy kill.
Yeah, that decay damage is fabulous and gives him a very free one.
The reposition, no net. He's going to be clearing that out. And now the players, the Guard, with a difficult ass. They have to try and at least work their way into the site. Trent, the complete disrespect being shown, man. Classic in hand, even at the back. Oh boy, now it's just down to that 2v1. Now the players are low. No heal available for Jonah. Used it prior. Tex decided to opt into it. He's got 6 headhunter bullets, but he knows he doesn't particularly need it, except it would be useful. Quick body shot onto Trent, that's all it would take.
Exactly. 2 shots and this round could be over. And Tex has been nasty.
So consistent, he didn't even need the headshot. He finds it anyway.
And there you go, a single body shot. Trent, 47 health, disappears in a moment. 2 shots is all it took. Tex still has 4 in his clip.
Yeah, that's valuable, man. Was that $200 for the round?
The 200 credit round there. But NRG had some decent ideas of how they wanted to hold that. The seize off the trademark as they're coming out of ropes. They've also got a paranoia that came through heaven as the Guard players were spilling out through that gap in the window. And Ethan's anchoring backside with his flashes with the fragment grenade. This is going to be a very hard-fought split. Not just because the match is important, the win is important, but when both of these... The only time we've seen both of these teams play split recently was against Exet.
Yeah, the same team.
And honestly, with how good Exet are, neither team got destroyed. The Guard obviously managed to come back with a win, but even NRG, it was a 13-9 game where they looked competent.
Made it close. Made it close. Pop flash round the side. Okay. Tex is going to respect that one, but not enough to go for these swings, and they are just handing him these kills. Eventually, he will fall.
Silence. But NRG are cleaning this one up fairly easily. Only Trent and Valen left alive, and they're in B heaven, running around, giving away where their location is. And some's kind of isolated here, actually. If there was a flash online for Trent, he's just kind of staring at it, but not available. Okay, that's a bit of a whiff, actually, from Hayes, who's otherwise been hitting some pretty great shots in this series.
Trent's got the heal, waited until they were in a safe location. In fact, the time isn't even running low for them.
Swapping him around
full,
as well.
Yeah, swapping around the weaponry to Valen.
The thing is, though, eventually here, with 30 seconds left, they're going to be running into Som and Ethan.
They've moved all the way over.
Still got a nade to be able to work with here as well.
30 seconds left.
It should be wrapped up for NRG. Valen and Trent would have to hit something absurd.
A knife, man! Yeah, okay. All the info gained.
Yeah, Valen still made it a little expensive towards the end there. And NRG, they've been able to win pistols. They've been able to win the follow-ups. This was something that they were struggling with so much last week against 100 Thieves. But it's been a major improvement for them. And one of the big reasons why they've kept both of these maps that we've seen previously close and won one of them.
Yeah.
This is not going to be a bonus, though. Not really. 3 of the players from NRG are buying up, going deep into the cash to afford this.
Getting the Vandals online. A lot of those players prior. So yeah, important round for them.
The Haunt broken early here. Already presence going to be shown over towards A ramp. And that's where Net has this Viper wall too. So, seems like a big focus early on in the half from the guard's attack side is to make Tex respect that there could be people playing A ramp. But when he's happy to swing you and take your head off like that, it doesn't really pose too much of a threat.
Yeah, as soon as the stars are placed, that's Ethan's time to shine. He's down the fragment, so that's going to stop them just pushing through main. I'm trying to be taken. He's got a bit of a lineup for that. Okay, running through.
Don't think you realized they were that far up heaven.
Yeah, he caught onto the head of one of the players. That's not quite enough. Do they anticipate that, Ethan?
Spike down.
Rapid shots, nice little reset. Finding the cranium both times. Jonah left alone, 1v3. It's not really doable for him.
And it's a worthwhile investment from NRG.
Yeah.
Sure, they have to dig deep into the coffers, but it works out. Even after EU, gets a bit of a wonky peek into A heaven, Ethan is so ready for that. He had both of his flashes there, and I think, it's tempting for a player to think, all right, I'm inside a smoke with a flash, maybe I'll go for something. He just has the patience.
Yeah.
The patience to wait. Both of those players are inside a slow field. And even though he doesn't get the third, Som is instantly there to trade it out. The guard pushed onto an eco here. It can be devastating on split attack sometimes when you're getting constantly pushed back onto an eco. Right,
okay.
Maybe it doesn't make the difference. I mean, NRG have kind of been struggling on these anti-ecos at some point. Especially if Trent's going to hit ones like that.
Yeah. Picks up the Vandal. Space gained in mid. But they still have that hold on B main. As Jonah's jiggling, he's just looking for an option, maybe to break through, regain that control. They're going to get that. It's a 4v4 now. And this position by Ethan, he's just going to be swinging up. What am I watching?
Okay.
The double swing down. EU has got it covered. Spike dropped down as well into ropes. He was just up and down, Seeker in his face. It didn't even matter. But Net, okay, he can make it dangerous. And the respect being shown. See Som is running back. He doesn't want to catch any of those hands.
He's running back, but that's given Net a rifle. There's 40 seconds left. Spike position.
This angle is brutal, though.
Oh,
This angle's brutal, though, but they've given it up.
And he gets info on where Som is currently playing, too.
20 seconds.
Som's going to have to get vulnerable if he wants to get back up there.
He drops it down. He is vulnerable. Planting for heaven. You gotta be kidding me. Anticipating it. Som swinging. Wow, man.
Wow.
I gotta say,
Crazy situation there for Som.
Net plants in front to play for heaven there because he knows that he's got nade and satchel to disrupt the plant if he plants safe.
Sure, but at the same time, too,
He has to hit the shot.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Som disrespects the snake bite that's been put down, runs through it, takes a little bit of damage, becomes vulnerable. Brent, it's again the same thing. Anti-eco rounds, they're not safe for NRG by any means, but they are still winning them. They're not losing the anti-ecos, but it's close.
It's making us hold our breath.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time. I do like how much NRG are mixing up their defense, though. In that round, round 4, they forced the guard to fight for ropes control and proved that it's not free. You can't just take mid and ropes for free. This time, Tex walking his way down mid.
These deep angles that Tex gets on Chamber, they've been supplying that first kill. Oh, okay, the dog does clear it. A little bit worried there that it didn't spot him out.
And the boom bot just to see whether there's anything behind it.
Yeah.
Or whether the guard have instantly disappeared. There's still presence there. I like this from Hazed. Refreshing the one way, going and taking some B main control. You know that the guard are going to be grouping up in mid to get rid of that threat from Som and Tex. So Hazed can use the opportunity over here.
I think NRG are showing a really great understanding of how to play this map. He's going to be taking that fight.
Headshot through the wall there.
Yeah, he does survive it. Paranoid to try and push them back. In top of that, the nade. And a smoke. Cosmic Divide still being dropped down with a lot of time left on the clock.
I think that's a great reposition from Hazed.
seconds left.
They're not going to anticipate that, are they?
He's
Expecting
waiting.
it.
He's waiting anti-flash.
You can't pivot like this, man. There's 24 seconds remaining.
Where are they trying to go?
Where do you go?
I mean, I guess you can make a fast play over towards A. I mean, even if it's not the trademark, the tour de force.
Yep, and he's got the angle. It's a miss! Oh my goodness, but still the crossfire there, and a slow field means no chance in hell. Enough time for the team to rotate. They had that read on lock. And NRG, man, this feels like the guard a little bit flustered with that decision making.
Definitely flustered. If you think back to how the guard played against XZ, and we're probably going to be referring to those games quite a lot, because again, the only time we've seen NRG and the guard play split, they were both playing against XZ. When you look at the guard's match, they had a comeback on their attack half where they won a bunch of attack rounds in a row in the second kind of quarter here. So they went down early, same kind of situation, but they were able to recover and make the right adjustments and start punishing. At the moment, though, NRG, they haven't expended all of their looks. They are still coming up with new, different stuff. And the guard are taking time, taking utility, and not really finding those first kills, those good engagements.
Yeah, they have, I think, a great understanding of how they want to play this map. We mentioned at the beginning about their defensive protocols, like the way that they have the trademark set up, the C's to go off of it. That was in the pistol round, right at the very beginning. And still, I think they've just continued that trend.
Yeah.
The one way to deny the B main control, like bleeding off the time, makes it so difficult for these teams to attack on split.
And I've got to be honest, I love the composition that NRG are running. They have so many different tools to work with.
Yeah.
You know, they have very strong defensive tools.
You said I got to be honest, like that was a bad thing to say.
No, I know.
You're pained to compliment NRG.
No, not at all. But, you know, most of the time I just lie. That's what it is. No, I think
This time it's truthful.
I think the fact that Ethan and you are able to get these, like, quasi-duelist picks.
Yeah.
You know, they're both initiators, but they can play aggressively if they need to. It just gives you so much to work with on split.
Bullets flying out. Quick little duck. Contact in. Flash right through that smoke now. They know they're there. Paranoia, though. And a nade that's going to be missing the mark for NRG. The players are still committed, but a quick little jiggle and a peek round the side. There's the Nightfall on top of it. The flash catches onto Som, though. Yeah, the back of Ethan.
A little wonky, but they still push this one out. They know where everybody is.
One enemy remaining.
Lovely job.
Spike down.
So clean from Ethan. Finally playing a role. I mean, he's been kind of in breach jail for the first two maps.
Yeah.
But he's still been able to find really good impact, even though he's been sat towards the bottom of the scoreboard. Now unleashed on the KO. 11-3.
Really proven himself.
Just bopping. Ethan's a fabulous player. At worst, he puts up good performances.
Sure.
And then you get maps like this where he's able to take control. And this is what NRG have been missing in Stage 2 sometimes. Is that player to take over, to dominate the game for them. And thus far, the guard have no answers. That was, of course, a bit of an eco round, though, for the guard. They're waiting for a haunt. NRG have been flash haunting, that kind of thing. They've had Tex holding over here with his AWP.
Yeah, making players off a bit. The Prowler and spots a player.
This time, though, I think the fact that the Prowler is there indicates the AWP is not. So it's the go signal for the guard.
Player lets it rip with the showstopper. It was a close knife, I think, forced him to use it early. And look at the spam! Just
Enemy
holding
remaining.
down mouse one.
Spike
Right in
down
the smoke.
Disgusting.
And now the lineup. Look at them just all playing together. They know where the last player is. Gonna dodges it. Okay,
Bit of-
overextending.
Bit of a team flash there as well.
Mate, he's got the res online here.
This could get extremely dangerous. Has he?
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure he could find that res. It might have been inside the wall that he placed down. The spike was also
There was
inside
somebody
the wall.
behind, but I think he was worried about someone playing closer. Regardless of the fact, NRG 7 rounds in. No signs of life just yet from the guard. Now, they've made it close every now and then, but I think that they've just had an answer to almost everything that's come their way. Even a showstopper engaged there.
Yeah.
Ethan uses the knife, which forces Saya to just pop it off early, otherwise he's going to lose it.
And Sire player has not been able to find any value on the entry. And it's not because his raise is bad or he's bad, but they are running into problem after problem that NRG are throwing his way. He's 2-7. He has the same amount of first deaths as he did on Bind already after 7 rounds. He's just getting destroyed trying to play entry into this comp.
It's been an amazing performance from a lot of the individual players on NRG. Across the board. Earlier on in the series, it was hazed. Tex as well has just been lights out, I feel like, the entire time.
And what a scalp to take this would be for NRG. Proving themselves, getting into playoffs with a win over the Stage 1 champions in North America. Just taking a look, that first kill going the way of the guard does make a pretty big difference there. Been struggling with those to start.
Have been struggling.
Sort of open up some lanes on the map, but it's another set play from NRG.
Yep, just a nice little flash there, right through the smoke. Catches onto two of the players, as blind as you could be.
But it's not just Ethan going for a play solo. He's backed up there by EU. Still, this goes to a 4v4 thanks to Jonah P's res.
Brings him right back up into it. Now there's only 35 seconds left to go on the clock. Time is running low. Seas is going to miss.
30
Nice
seconds
opportunity,
left.
a window. Wall placed down. Bit of a diagonal approach to it. Now the double satchel, but EU is just absorbing the aggression once more. Playing right far back into the spawn. The guard not letting up on the pressure. They are hitting some shots. In fact, Trent is the one who has completely opened it.
And Tex is just the saddest
planted.
as he walks up those stairs and sees a wall in front of him. I don't think Ethan's going to be in a position where he can... no, neither the position nor the timing working there.
Has money though, so he wants to try and take this one, the 1v3.
Even any damage there would have been good, but Trent, good for it on the other side of things.
Really great
The
performance.
first round on the board for the guard. What worked for them? Getting a punish early in B main as Jonah P gets the opening kill.
Yeah.
But it's also the resurrect. The res in some way takes a tool away from NRG because the flash play that they did in mid just gets countered by an ultimate that comes out from Jonah. That isn't replicable. Maybe the opening kill can be, but you're not going to have a res online every round.
I think that's the big takeaway though, is those opening kills. A lot of the first kills so far in this game, 6 of them going away of NRG. Most of the time converting into those round wins. They got to get those opening kills if they want a chance to try and come back into this one.
Yeah, I mean, literally every time converting it into a round win as well. For NRG, they have now posted up Tex with the one-way in B main. Even as the one-way falls, that operator's still so deadly behind it. Trailblazer goes up mid, giving them some level of information as NRG sit back fairly deep here. Not too worried about an A-lurk. Net still yet to invest the wall. Choosing not to use it off the rip.
Holding on to it.
I like this smoke. It's a one-way. Sorry, it's a recall.
And it pushes up side player on the angle.
That's great.
Crouch holding it, knows it's potentially going to get re-cleared there. The nade to, again, push them back. Counter nade on top of it. Hazed in a bit of trouble. Taking a lot of damage there, and it has forced out the ultimate showstopper. The nade just rebounding against the wall to try and break it down.
40 seconds, and they are just sprinting through mid to A again.
And EU's got it covered once more.
It's the same situation. Sure, there's time left on the clock, but it's scattered. Headless chicken behavior from the guard.
Net. Patient. Walking in. Taking the space. Jonah P's got to get up with something here. Knows the second player set. Spray tries to reset, tries to work his way back.
But Ethan's too clean. They have got the spike plant down, though. And Net's ultimate, it could be a game changer. EU's ultimate, though, again, so good against the Viper's Pit. If he can get his Fade ult in position, he's got a Prowler left, too. There's just so many ways that you can find out where the Viper or the Astra are playing.
One enemy remaining.
And Valen tries to take a risk. Peeks through, now the knife falls. It's up to Net to try and push forwards and see if he can catch any of the players as they were execing. Not for that retake.
A chance.
No.
Not a chance. NRG so diligent. Covering Valen, stopping him from getting the timing over towards screens, and setting EU up to counter the Viper's pick completely. And the guards, mid-rounding, is flustered on this map. Their entrying actually made a difference here. They had a good play to be able to counter Tex. The Astra Star recall and Saya player sets up on the angle. Saya is a great raise, a great aimer. If you give him those opportunities and set him up properly, he's going to succeed. I mean, when he played Raze on Bind earlier today, he was 6-2 in the first kills to first deaths.
Yeah, he was destroying.
But here on Split, it is so much more difficult, and NRG are making it so much more difficult.
Enemy suppressed.
How do you get anything done? With the time being ran down almost every single time. It's been these pivots that NRG are catching.
And NRG have so many counters to this Viper wall as well that's being put down over towards A ramp. They can either use Prowlers there to detect whether there's anybody, actually scaling up behind it, or they could play Tex in an aggressive position like this, and he's always got his rendezvous to escape.
Right back around the side.
Ethan's actually the susceptible one here. And things could get a little funky if the guard decide to break this trademark at the top of ropes. Ethan can drop back though, and now this gives him the timing.
This time it's a split approach. You can see the guard just trying to work two avenues at once to try and get themselves into A. The rendezvous text was vulnerable a little bit there to a push. The Cosmic Divider would get them out of this one. Ethan tucked away into the corner. Text though, he wants to take the fight anyway. Still Sire player, he wins it out. Just walking forward for about a moment, holding it, but he realizes, okay, I got the spike, got to get this down so that my team can start playing at this one. The entirety of the guard playing on site here.
Everybody stuffed into the same kind of positions. There's Paranoia still available for Hayes.
Paranoia, nade, like
Paranoia
C's.
through to elbow is going to catch Trent and Jonah P. They have a flash to try and fend it
They've
off.
got everything. C's catches their player as Jonah. Has to just hold the angle though. Operator in
bold.
hand. He's paranoid up. He actually cannot see or hear a thing still. God, rifles. They find it. Up to Hayes. Straight behind Map. He's got the one. Can he get the second one? No. Trent just about gets it, but how close is that? Around on the board for the guard. They're going to be grateful. They're going to be breathing for about a moment.
And
but
that's only the second that they've been allowed to take. And they had to work for every moment of it. Trent has been fantastic in those late round situations at fending off the 1v1s. The 1v1 win rate for Trent when you know, he's left as the last player alive. I think he was the player to close out Bind, closed out a 3v1 that went wrong on Haven, closed out that round as well. He's been great for them in winning those crucial duels at the end that they need. But they're really still struggling to get into that position. Can this be the beginning of a comeback? If the Guard are able to get 4, it might be enough. But they need anything they can get right now. NRG are running away with it. They can taste the playoffs.
Yeah, so close. The pressure that was being pushed into mid there as NRG were posting up text onto the deep angle. Look at all the information they're gathering from this one. He's worked his way all the way into market.
But there's nobody here to contest them at ramp, which has been a bit of a difference maker previously. Looks like NRG are playing a full retake setup for A.
Again, anticipating.
They don't have ults for this, though.
No, they're expecting side player, I think, to go for a double satchel engage. That's why Ethan's so far back with the knife. He's holding it.
Yeah.
They expect it. They've got the read on this one. They expect it to come through main. Are they going to know it's going to be coming up into ramp into heaven?
What a mad Viper wall, actually, that Ned's been put down. It's A heaven control. The Paranoia misses. They don't know where this is coming from.
They don't have anything. He just lets it rip again, but he doesn't get the value still. The players are falling anyway. Ethan now, bit of a solo play from him as he flashes through, but side play was too far around the corner. Wasn't caught out by it, and the flank also just being contained.
NRG not finding particularly value from playing that heavy off-site situation.
Wait a second!
He's lighting people up. He's got the read.
No shot. Solo, and he holds it in the smoke. I cannot believe it.
It's an ace clutch for EU.
You were talking like it was over.
It looked
We were
over.
talking like it was over. We expected it to be over.
Oh.
There's no way you allow him to get that much.
An ace clutch 1v4 from the same position that Ethan also contested them. The Guard have let it. They fumbled it. And EU, what a fabulous series of shots for him to hit.
Show me that again.
It's a 1v5, in fact. 1v5 ace.
Comes through. No one.
Where's the
swinging
swing?
off that,
Where's the
only
trade?
Jonah.
Where's the
Late to it.
urgency? And EU getting presented with a series of winnable duels, but the fact he takes every one of them.
And that's so purposeful of his positioning and movement.
And he reads the flank coming through from Trent as well, because, listen, if Trent isn't swinging to trade, where is he? Flanking him at screens. What a read from EU. What a fabulous play.
And in terms of players shooting their weapons to win a 1v5, that's the first one we've seen in the groups. This stage.
There's only been one other 1v5 this stage. That was Bang against NRG, but that was a very different situation.
He ended up just sticking the spike.
Xander had an insane 1v5 last stage, actually, too.
Yeah.
But, my God, that I think that's a death blow for the Guard.
I was taken out of it.
I think that's a death blow for the Guard.
I mean, listen, lesson learned.
Because the thing is, the Guard had actually found something that worked there. NRG were playing back off-site.
It looked really clean.
NRG playing off-site was the same thing, the same mistake they were making against Xset running this comp. So NRG pulled out this comp against Xset on split and played off-site a lot, and it just didn't work. They weren't finding value out of it. That's another round where they make the same, in my opinion, bit of an error, giving too much space to the Guard there.
Yeah.
And yet EU still finding the magic that they need.
Tech pause from that one. I mean, all the wind out of your sails taken away.
It is.
The guard were just desperately clinging on to any hope of trying to make this half even. Bit of a tech pause as well. Who do you think's punched their monitor?
Yeah, I mean,
Because, yeah.
the guard are going to be in the dumps in terms of their morale right now.
It's brutal.
The highs and the lows for such a rookie team are insanely difficult to manage. That's one of the things that comes with that experience that you're getting from, you know, Hayes, Ethan, those
The
kind of
ability to
characters.
navigate it when it gets like this.
Navigating the emotional and mental side of the game is the most difficult aspect for these teams in these kind of situations. And that is like a punch to the gut.
Yeah.
The guard are now going to have to pull off some kind of ridiculous comeback on their defense half. Even if this ends up 9-3, that would be absurd. It's not like NRG's composition looks terrible on the attack side either.
If anything, they've got more tools to work with, I think.
Yeah. And reminder, this is simple. Win and you're in for playoffs. You will still be in that 4th seed, put straight into the lower bracket.
At least you get a shot, though.
Exactly. And NRG would have some wind in their sails. And for NRG, it's even more important than the guard because it gives them the points they need to sail up the LCQ rankings.
Sure.
And
Even if they don't make it far in terms of the actual players themselves.
Exactly. Every spot that they can gain by winning these matches pushes them, 10 points higher, 15 points higher, 20 points higher. And we don't know exactly how all of the points are going to work out of this.
How it's going to shake out. Yeah.
But what we do know is NRG are in a dire strait right now, and they need every point they can get. For the guard, they're still sitting pretty for 2022 overall, right? They still made Masters Reykjavik. But that's why the expectations are so different for them.
Absolutely.
And coming into Split, man, they were the team that beat XSET here. They were the team that put up 6 rounds in their attack half against XSET and beat them. The only team to beat XSET on Split this stage. This year, in fact, I think.
Yeah, I would argue that the guard have done a pretty decent job of trying to make those adaptations towards the later end of things in this half, but letting it slip. It's, I mean, too late, honestly.
Yeah.
Too late as well.
Too little, too late, and no ability to deal with EU. And Ethan and EU are having fabulous performances here on Split. You are getting your players turning up when it's required.
That is mad. 18-6, 16-8.
And Sire players started to warm up as well here. He's not languishing at the bottom of the scoreboard anymore. But his role is about to change so much. He's been playing entry, hammering his head into a brick wall. After this one final round, and we are back into it, after this one final round of the attack half, things change up so dramatically on Split.
Spectres. That's what the guard have got to try and convert this round on the half. A 9-3, I mean, listen, it's not perfect, but they'll take it if they could.
Prowler meets the dog over towards A ramp. 3 bodies for
Push it through.
NRG.
Just going with pace. Going with pace once more. Paranoia on top of it. The kill goes through. Slow Orb Jonah takes it. Denying that ramp control.
Look how deep Net is. Net's about to flank EU.
Yeah. Just going with, again, that pace and injection into it. Just try and take the timing away from them. Net does not win it out. Some finds the head in the end. EU with the angle. He knows. Presumably hearing the wall. And the jump up straight up onto it. The Nightfall crossing the site, only 2 players left standing. The decay slowly wearing off here onto the remaining members of the guard. Trent and Sire player left alone in this 2v4, but I don't think they're going to be handed as many opportunities to clutch this one out because NRG have just looked too well drilled. They've been looking too good in the action.
And it's just too simple for them. They've got all of the momentum behind them heading into this second half. A 10-2 lead, absolute dominance on Split on the 3rd map. They are within a whisker's distance of making it to playoffs here in VCT Stage 2.
Ripping away the playoff spot from the guard, the winners of Stage 1, North America.
That's a scalp.
I mean, that would be a hell of a way to get into the playoffs. We're going to go to a short break, and on the other side of things, we're going to see just how this map and this series is going to end up. Hayes has said previously the expectations were high for NRG, making it to playoffs or bust, and they are just moments away from being able to do that. Taking out one of the top dogs of Stage 1 as well would be a hell of a way to do it.
Certainly would. And it feels inevitable at this point. A 10-2 comeback would just be unthinkable. Sure, Split is defense-sided, but it seems like a mammoth task for the guard to pull off. This pistol round is going to be the most important one of 2022 for them, arguably.
Yeah, first piece of the puzzle, honestly, for them to try and wade out of this one.
55 damage there onto Valin. Has to dodge, get a bit of a heal from Trent. Sorry, from Jonah P.
This is looking now like setting up in B main. Control being gained for NRG here. The wall, that's quite nice in terms of the timing. That's actually going to push them back. You can't really break that one with pistols.
Yeah, very nicely played. NRG don't want to give away their positioning. Arguably should have broken a couple of segments of it with their knives before they retreated, but maybe that's what Tex is up to over there in B main.
Look up a swing out. Utility in the hands of some of these players. But they do cover it. Enough bodies from NRG. The guns finding their marks. Now left down to this 3v3 side play, looking for information. He is going to be eating a bullet. Drop down to 20.
NRG would love to make this one clean. Win the pistol, win the follow-up. You're looking great.
It's looking more than great. And the player's been caught a little bit off guard. Still Sire. Not a lot to work with, not a lot of health, but now it's been left down to a 1v1. And how many times have we seen it end up like this?
Trent's been good for it across this series so far, but EU with his ridiculous 1v5 situation earlier on has got to be feeling good. Fired up.
Angle!
And he just can't land the shot. Oh. Trent, it's another 1v1 where he saves the guard. A lifeline.
Yeah, you can call it that. Comfortable on Sky.
The thinnest thread possible here.
They'll take anything at this point. Anything to keep them in it. And Trent is the one who, I mean, he's so consistent at it.
Yeah, it is such a long journey to go. The swing through mid was successful for them. Jonah P and Net doing a lot of damage there.
Can't believe it.
Saya still finding two while he's on such weak health.
Almost a classic moment there, but
the guard hold on.
yeah, they do hold on.
No force buy from NRG either.
And that shows they're in a good headspace, honestly.
Yeah, you don't want to risk it.
You don't want to give them any more opportunities to get ahead.
Not at all. And it's going to be very interesting to see how many, Spectres the guard take into the next round, and whether they choose to go for some kind of bonus when NRG are so close to match point. I mean, making that decision difficult in round 15 is the goal for NRG here. Try and do a bit of damage, take some Spectres out of their hands, make it a challenging decision to go for, a bonus or to heavily invest and put your life on the line in one final stand.
Solid blow to the economy. And one of the weaknesses of running this kind of comp that NRG are running is that it is these wholesale executes sticking together. Of course, they're doing it now on the eco. They'd be trying to play the numbers advantage you've got. They've already crossed now into ramp, being watched. Multiple players from the guard able to just shut down the push through the Viper's wall. You can see that Net's just conscious of it as well. He holds a lot of his fuel until he sees a bit of a play being made.
EU has farmed orbs. And so despite the fact that Saya player is tapping heads right here, and the rest of NRG is getting cleaned up, EU's death gives him the final ult that he needs, the final ult charge point that he needs to get the Fade ult online. And that's the only one across all 10 players that's active. That was very purposeful from NRG. They went around the map, and they deliberately farmed that up.
Yep. What's
their game plan with it? They must have some kind of strategy cooked up around this.
Expect them to be making a play.
And the decision, not too challenging, I think, for the guard here. They have so many Spectres and a Guardian that they can go for some kind of bonus here. But it's so risky if NRG are allowed to get to 11. They do not have many free rounds to work with.
Instantaneously, you can see smoke was used to try and split up mid ever so slightly from Hazed. Slow orb as well, making sure that they couldn't just push deep the Viper orb on top of it. Quite patient.
Very. But they are draining utility out of the guard here. Both slow orbs have been used. The wall, not so much
goal,
yet.
I think, as well. Put themselves in a favorable position to use this Nightfall, this big Fade ultimate that they're hanging on to.
Yeah.
With nothing to slow you down.
It's quite a passive Sage Wall that Jonah P's used in B Heaven as well. This dog is just aiming to get broken so that they're threatening there could be somebody over the
They're trouble facing this. Moving all the way up. Tex tries to teleport away, doesn't catch it.
And so NRG had a decision fork there. They could have tried to go fast and punish that. Instead, slowing things down,
Oh, looking at Sire now. This angle doesn't want to expose himself too much, but he just whips around the corner. Does a bit of damage. Som down to 50 health. Now we see it at Nightfall. Splitting across the site.
Weird timing, though.
Catch onto anyone, and the players are not ready. They're trying to drag rotations, I think. He's caught. He's just trying to pull out some of that utility, some of the smokes to help his team.
Overheating a little bit there, I think, in terms of the IGLing, not finding the timing, too, in terms of pulling out his gun.
Now, Som holding, has the off angle. Has the satchel as well, knows the second player can't swing him, so that plant, it is going to go down.
It's
but
chaos.
he has to hold on to this position now. The guard still swinging, the double swing with the Spectres. To leap movement. Now down to the 2v2.
EU's getting flanked here. Was for a moment. Instead finds the timing onto Valin. Drops down around, and EU has just been pinpoint accurate with these shots today.
What a
Finishes
play.
another one. And sure, it's a bonus, and so, not the end of the world. The guard is still going to be able to buy. But it edges NRG one round closer.
They were handed, I think, a bit of an opportunity there with just the way that push came out from NRG. It was flopping. Very disjointed.
I think the biggest problem with it is that they didn't find the timing as the Sage Wall was going down. If they had just paused for a moment, waited for the Sage Wall to decay naturally and be heaven, and then gone for it, that push looks so much better, I think.
It's riskier the longer you wait.
Sure.
With the time running that low.
And this is a massive round. It has to be the recovery right here for the guard. They cannot allow NRG to get to 12.
They're facing this. Hayes has already worked himself into this angle. The corner. Do they really want to fight this? 3 of them there, anticipating the contact play, I think. From at least one of them.
They've heard a little jump.
They're just holding. They're going to swing. Straight into it. Sire's there. There tries to be a return, but there's so many players fighting over that tooth and nail. It's EU who just about comes out on top. The war in B main. But he is left alone now with only 46 health. 2 players remaining from the guy. That was the 2 players who were just locking down A, making sure that there was nobody getting up to any mischief.
And they're going to play together. They're perfectly happy here to play some kind of retake situation. And in fact, EU's just going to walk straight into them. It's not like Ned or Trent are holding any aggressive positions here. But this would be an absurd one for EU to win.
Yeah, crosshair placement not quite there. And expecting maybe just a player on the staircase.
And so the guard get one more chance.
Expensive round for them.
It's expensive, sure, but they have still a huge economy advantage over NRG. These are the rounds that get dangerous, though, because now NRG are going to take liberties. They're not worried about throwing away their rifles, so they're going to go aggressive here.
Probably a fast play.
Yeah, it might not be the whole team going aggressive, although,
can see them.
Yeah, they are grouping.
Leaning A. Som's got a showstopper, but it looks like I think the guard are ready for it.
Yeah, this could be a suck nade that destroys NRG, honestly.
I think they're anticipating this. The ping's in play by the guard. They're expecting some sort of fashion of it. Yeah, okay. Knife and the showstopper close. Viper's pit. Off onto the corner. How does he not connect that? The counterplay, though. It's in order. Som is so low. Just playing inside this pit. Down to 1 health.
Net with the judge out. But he has no idea if there's players around the corner. NRG have all the control over A ramp right now. Even though they're getting decayed, Som 1 health. And it's a massive exchange of ultimates over by the A side with no casualties. And in fact,
favorable, I think, to the guard, right?
Kind of, yeah, but they don't really have too much information until the Trailblazer comes through. Big piece of utility for Trent that shows 2, 3 players in mid. Hard to see exactly what the dog was looking at there. But gives them good information that NRG have repositioned.
Gotta know that they're playing up here, right? Especially when they hear the boom bot.
At the same time, though, at any point they could go back into an A split. So these players have got to stay in their position today.
Flash catching, knife just on the lower. They gotta expect now that Jonah is playing here in this position still, locking it, rifle in hand, but the players are falling anyway. NRG just battling through heaven. He's picked up a gun of himself. Now needs to get that spike down with only 20 seconds remaining. And look at the positioning of the guard. Eagerly awaiting for that plan. Now they know exactly where most of the players are going to be. They still, I think, are worried about a flank.
That ult purely for information. EU trying to see how many players are there by CT. And 1 trail, 1 player. They know it's going to be Trent at this point too. Where are the others coming from? They clear out B main a little bit. Now they're pretty confident. These 2 players are going to be coming from heaven.
Yep. Plays have to be made right now, and you have just handed NRG the keys to it. But
Oh, those shots just missing there from Tex, and Sire and Trent are so clean.
really did get dangerous.
Oh, and here's the problem, Bren. The guard are starting to believe.
They're starting to believe.
That's the problem that you have in these moments. When NRG lose a couple of opportunities in a row, and even though that one's an eco round, every round win gets the guard a little closer, but it also makes them believe a little more that it's possible.
Yeah.
And their players are going to be confident and start swinging on you like they are here and hitting those shots.
I think when that prospect comes around, like the guard, a scary team. You can see NRG are taking a timeout here because I think obviously something is missing from them. They realize that it's slipped away multiple times now. And I think, honestly, with NRG's comp as well, the way they've been playing this, it's been trending pretty hard, I think, to just defaulting over one section of the map or the other.
Yeah.
It doesn't really give you the options like it was. I mean, not that it helped the guard, but, you know, giving Net the option to lurk, I guess, through A when they're on the attack side.
Yeah, I mean, I think those options are still available, but it requires Hayes to be throwing smokes
Smoking
for somebody
across.
else for
Yeah.
on A. And it's not something that teams are usually doing too much of. For NRG, though, all they need is another big performance from EU. Ethan hit a couple of shots in a row, as they've been doing the entire map so far. Or honestly, even Ethan just getting his ult online, the null command would be so good for barreling through the guard's setups. Get rid of any flashes, the nades, the sucks, everything offline. It's a very util-heavy comp that the guard are running.
I think the guard looked like they might have had a read for this one. They were playing 3 close towards B main, expecting maybe that they would go for the orb, but they back off. Not being used to try and clear through. Now the Trailblazer by Trent just needs to get information. Might have spotted 2 there.
I think he did. And that might have stopped NRG in their tracks as they give up a bit of a fight for B main. They've still got information there. It's not like the guard control the entire area. But now this read is really good again from the guard. 3 players going over towards mid as they flash into B main. They know there's nobody actively in B.
When a smoke goes up, a flash through. Are they going to try and work through? Yes, they're trying to make a bit of a counterplay, but Som is watching it once more.
It's awkward, and it's not good enough.
It's very awkward. 4 players left standing. Now they're just barreling through once more. Paranoia to cut off Valorant from any sort of information. And yeah, swarmed from every perceivable angle. All up to Jonah. The res. Do you want to commit this? Do you feel like you can? The 2v4?
I think you have to go for it.
When it's 11-6? Yeah.
When it's 11-6, what else are you going to do? Play for OT 6 rounds in a row? Are you even going to have an opportunity to get a res and maybe a winnable situation in one of the other rounds? He's deciding not to go for it. If he was going to commit to this, he would have done it way earlier. But either way, the guard have their backs up against the wall. These are the moments that define the decent teams from the great teams. Are you able to make a comeback of this portion?
What is that?
Oh, that's just disgusting.
That's a morale breaker.
I mean, Hayes has barely... I mean, Hayes has been hitting on the prior 2 maps, but this one, bottom of the scoreboard, 7 to 12, he hits that?
Old man reflexes.
I mean, Hayes does...
What? You are joking.
Listen, that's a gift for the desk. Aim Labs flick of the day.
Oh my god.
What is that?
He's just holding out mouse 1 and just swinging.
NRG are making playoffs. That's...
Yeah, it feels almost preordained at this point.
It really does. The guard would have to pull something absurd out. It's another 3-player stack over towards B main. They push back Hayes,
so
headshot
hard.
through a wall. Can he get out in time? Just about.
And he's getting help from the rest of his team as well. He calls it. They know that they're fighting over this one now. The guard know they have to come out on top if they want any sort of chance.
And they have. They've traded out effectively there. The players with weaker weaponry going first, and Valen cleans things up.
The entire thing could have just come completely tumbling down.
The Seekers used here, and already Trent popping them, seeing they're going towards A, but instantly rotating B as they anticipate this pivot from NRG.
Yeah. As soon as they see them running through spawn, they know the rough positioning. They know where they could be now.
And honestly, NRG didn't even have the spike, only just picking it back up as someone texts.
Minute left. Series point here for NRG. You have the guns. Flash going to get dodged, and now they still contact forwards. Trying Trying to get the right timing. Som, he finds the head. That's now down to just 2. Nade, that's going to buy a bit of time. Plant starts to go down, and now, wait, avoids it. Goes back for just but a moment. Still, it might be found. Tex, he has to cover it. Som's got it. It's all just down to net. A 1v2. This is the playoffs. This is it. He went for the 1. The reposition from Tex is a magnificent. Enough to win it out. Enough to get that 13th round. And NRG, they win it. They take away Split. They take away that map 3. And they are going to be going to playoffs, knocking out the Stage 1 North American champions in the process.
Yeah, it's a fantastic performance from